I just cannot wait to watch Jordan Love play some regular season football. We finally get to see Jordan Love start after spending the last 3 years backing up Aaron Rodgers. Now Rodgers is gone, and it's time to figure out what the Packers really have in Jordan Love. Green Bay made a huge risk drafting him in the first round back in 2020, and now we'll finally know if they made the right decision or not. And honestly, he's looked pretty damn good so far. Jordan Love has started in both the Packers preseason games and appeared in 5 total drives. And in week 1 against the Bengals, he looked pretty solid. On the opening drive, he found Luke Musgrave for a first down, but Green Bay did eventually stall out and had to punt. Love ended up missing his wide receiver on 3rd down, and that ended the drive. The next drive, though, was much better. Love converted on 3rd down with a really nice pass to Christian Watson. It's just a quick turn and throw type of thing, but Love was able to put it in a good enough spot for Watson to be able to pick up the first after the catch. Then a little bit later, Love was able to find Romeo Doubs down in the red zone for a 12-yard gain. Just a nice showcase of what he can do when rolling out of the pocket. What I really love about the play, though, is just seeing how quick Jordan Love was able to get Doubs the ball. The ball made its way to Doubs quick as hell, and it was placed perfectly between 3 defenders. He followed that up with another pass to Doubs, this time going for a 9-yard touchdown. And that was it for Jordan Love in week 1. He finished 7 of 10 for 46 yards and a touchdown. The next week, Love faced off against my team, the New England Patriots, and his first drive was kind of a mess. He only threw a single pass and it was incomplete. Then, on 3rd down, the snap went way over his head and the Patriots recovered it. But he did end up playing in 2 more drives. Green Bay didn't really get much going in the second one. Love hit Doubs for 10 yards on 3rd down to extend the drive, but then eventually the Packers did have to punt it away after an incompletion on 3rd down. And Jaden Reed just definitely needs to catch it here. That leads us to what I think has been Love's best drive of the preseason, and it ended in a touchdown. Before they even took their first play of the drive, the Packers were already at their own 4-yard line, and it still only took them 5 plays to score. Jordan Love delivered a beautiful pass 42 yards downfield to Romeo Doubs. Now, it was initially called incomplete, but it was reversed after a successful challenge by Green Bay. Love then used his legs to pick up a nice first down on the next play, and the drive ultimately ends with a 19-yard touchdown pass to Reed. The last drive was a super promising showcase for Jordan Love, and he finished week 2 5 of 8 for 84 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Love showed a lot of promise. I know it's weird kind of being so invested in a 4th-year quarterback during the preseason, but we really haven't gotten to see him play too much over the years. When the Packers drafted Jordan Love back in 2020, it was a shock. They used the 26th pick on him at the draft instead of trying to build around Aaron Rodgers and help for a potential Super Bowl push. But as we know now, Rodgers then won back-to-back MVPs, so Love really just had to wait his turn. Jordan Love didn't play at all as a rookie, and he was never even active because not only was he behind Aaron Rodgers, but also Tim Boyle. Then in 2021, he was actually upgraded to the backup. Love didn't have to wait to see the field either. He made his NFL debut in week 1 because the Packers got absolutely blown out by the Saints. Love came in late and completed 5 of 7 passes for 68 yards, but he did lose a fumble. Then he actually had his first career start in week 9. It's still to this day the only start he's had in the pros, and it came against the Chiefs after Rodgers tested positive for COVID. That pushed Love into the starting role, and he was okay. Green Bay did lose 13-7, and Love completed 19 of 34 passes for 190 yards. Now, he threw a pick, but he also threw his first career touchdown pass to Allen Lazard. Love then saw the field again in the final game of the regular season, with the Packers already locked in for a playoff spot. He came in the second half versus Detroit and completed 10 of 17 for 134 yards and threw another touchdown. But he did also throw 2 late interceptions, and Green Bay lost the game. Jordan Love was the backup to Aaron Rodgers again last season, but much like his rookie year, he didn't start at all. He relieved Rodgers late in 3 games, and then in week 12, he actually came in the 3rd quarter. Rodgers was playing with a broken thumb and just kept taking hits from that insane Eagles defensive front. Love came in and played pretty well though. The Packers did lose 40-33, but they made it a game, and Love had a big 63-yard touchdown pass to Christian Watson. That was his only touchdown pass in 2022. but he also didn't throw a pick at all, so I guess that's a plus. He only threw 21 passes last season, completing 14 of them. It seems that what he was able to show in his limited play time was enough for the Packers to want to move on from Rodgers and go with Love. Now, it is worth noting that Aaron Rodgers also wanted a fresh start and ultimately was traded with a 5th round pick to the Jets. So it wasn't all just Green Bay wanting Love to be their guy. Rodgers definitely had a hand in that too. So Jordan Love is finally the Packers starter, and much like what Rodgers had when he was drafted, Love now has a rookie learning under him too, Sean Clifford. Green Bay just took him in the 5th round. He was at Penn State for what felt like forever. I mean, it was 6 years, so it kind of was forever. I don't think he's anything more than just a backup, and honestly, I think that's why the Packers drafted him anyways. The Packers are betting big on Jordan Love to succeed this year, but he hasn't exactly been put in the best position to succeed. A lot of the problems Aaron Rodgers had later in his time in Green Bay was literally because of the lack of talent around him, and that's definitely going to be an issue for Jordan Love now too. There are 12 wide receivers on the Packers roster right now. At first, that's nothing crazy, but what if I were to tell you that none of them were in the league in 2021? Yeah, they're all either rookies or going into their 2nd season in the pros. The expected one is Christian Watson, who was a 2nd rounder last year. He was a pretty good target as a rookie and ended up scoring 7 touchdowns and recorded 611 yards in 14 games. I do think he had some really promising moments last season and looks like he could definitely turn into a pretty good wideout in the league, but it's kind of a crime that he's the number 1. In no world should he actually be the number 1 already, but that's just the current state of the Packers. The 2, well, it isn't much better. It's Romeo Doubs. He played in 13 games last season and had 425 yards and 3 touchdowns. As you can tell, that's really not that pretty of a 1-2 punch at wide receiver. Now, the Packers did draft a little bit more help in the 2nd round this year with Jaden Reed. He was really good in college and was 2nd team All Big Ten in each of his past 2 years. But even the tight ends are super young. The Packers bizarrely drafted a tight end in the 2nd round and then turned around and took another one in the 3rd. Just really odd. They took Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State, who really was considered a top tight end in the draft, and then Green Bay followed that up by drafting Tucker Kraft, who won an FCS national championship and was an FCS All-American at South Dakota State. I have plenty of worries about the Packers passing game this season, but I do think the running backs are going to be good and should honestly be the focal point of their run game, because not only are their running backs good, but so is their offensive line. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon have been widely viewed as one of the best running back duos in the league over the past few seasons. Dillon has rushed for over 700 yards in each of the past 2 years, and Jones has really been one of the most reliable backs in the league since 2018. There's a lot to love about him, and the good line really helps with that. I think the line is going to be really good, but it's also going to depend on it actually being healthy. First and foremost, David Bakhtiari actually looked like his old self last season. He suffered a knee injury in 2020, and you had to wonder if he would ever be the same. He barely played in 2021, but then last season, he definitely returned to form. I would say it's kind of the same story with Elgton Jenkins too. He tore his ACL midway through 2021 and struggled when he got back, but once he returned to left guard, he was damn good. Josh Myers is probably going to be the guy to watch at center. He looked pretty good last season after he missed a lot of time as a 2nd round rookie in 2021. Then John Runyon has been pretty good at right guard. Right tackle is probably going to be Zach Tom, who played in week 18 after Josh Nijman was benched. I would say that's really the only spot on the line where there's a bit of a question mark right now. I definitely think the Packers could have and should have put better pieces around Jordan Love to help him succeed. No, he's not some rookie quarterback that needs an immense level of coddling, but he is a first-year starter, and his team has kind of put him in a bad spot, at least when it comes to the passing game. Green Bay absolutely failed Aaron Rodgers during the back end of his time with the team, and now it seems like they're doing it all over again. But I'm telling you this right now, if they can get the right pieces around Jordan Love, he is going to be a dog.